I'm Clever Ghoul, but you can call me Nikki. Welcome back to the channel. This week we're making some metal embossed ornaments. Now I've seen this trend go around on the internet for the last few years, and usually the way I've seen it is that people take tomato paste tubes, remove the tomato paste, cut open that tube and show you that it's a metal sheet, and they use that for the ornaments. Now my only issue with this is I feel like you would have to buy way more tomato paste than you would ever use in a lifetime because these sheets aren't that big. And on top of that, what are you doing with all the tomato paste? I don't know, maybe I'm really mistaken, and if I am, I'm happy to be wrong, but I wanted to think of a different way to approach this project. Usually at your craft store, you can get lightweight metal sheets. Mine didn't have any currently, and so I pivoted and thought of another way to do this project, and I found an assorted pack of brass shims on Amazon, so we'll be using that. Now, this is an easy project, but I wouldn't say it's really kid-friendly. This is more of an adult project because the metal is very sharp and you're using sharp shears, and so I don't really think it's kid-friendly. The only other issue with this product is that when you're embossing, your hand will get tired, so just pace yourself, maybe do a couple ornaments one day, a couple a different day. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. So with all that being said, let's get into it. For materials, you'll need the following: a lightweight metal sheet. As I said, I used a pack of miscellaneous brass shims from Amazon, metal shears, embossing tools, tracing paper, masking tape, B7000 or hot glue. And if you use hot glue, I would recommend having a thick towel or an oven mitt on hand nearby, and ribbon or twine. As always, all of the materials I used will be linked in the description box below, and I do earn a small commission, so thank you. First, you're either gonna find some designs that you like online and print them out, or you're gonna do what I did and draw some up. Once you've either printed everything out or have your drawings ready to go, pull out a sheet of tracing paper and you're gonna trace those designs onto the tracing paper. You may need to trace the designs down multiple times on different sheets of paper because the paper may rip when you do the embossing later. Once everything's traced out, either take your metal sheet or your metal shim and tape it down on top of the back of your tracing pad. You wanna have something that has a little bit of give underneath your metal so that it's easier to emboss. Next, take your piece of tracing paper and tape it so it's facing you on top of your metal sheet. Using one of your embossing tools, go ahead and start tracing that design onto the piece of metal. I had to go over these lines several times to really make sure they were embossed the way I wanted them to be, so just something to keep in mind when doing this part. Leave that metal sheet taped down onto your tracing pad, take that piece of tracing paper that you just used and flip it around so that that same design that you just did is upside down, and then tape it down onto the metal sheet somewhere where it fits. And then just repeat the same process. Trace the design, remove the paper, go over the lines again several times, just make sure it's really embossed. Now you have a front and a back piece for your ornament, and it's time to cut them out. Using your metal shears, cut a little bit outside of the borderline of the design that you just made, and cut very slowly and carefully. Do this for both sides. Next, take a look at your shapes. The sides that you want to be the front will be the ones that when you flip them over, the design is raised, and since you have two opposite pieces with that, you'll be able to glue them together to make an ornament. Before gluing them together, I took whichever side was front facing, put it down, took the other side with the front face facing up and put it kind of next to it, so I knew that I was sandwiching that one on top of the other. Then you're gonna cut out a piece of ribbon or twine, roughly anywhere from 3 to 4 inches long. You want this to be able to be big enough to go over a tree branch, so you might want to go a little bit more towards 4 inches, 4.5 inches if you think you need to. First, we're gonna attach that little piece of ribbon to make a loop that will hang onto your tree. So pull out either your B7000 or your hot glue and put a little dot at the top of the ornament where you want the ornament to hang from. Then take that piece of ribbon or twine and place one end of it down into that dot and let it sit there for a few minutes to set. Next, add another dot on top of that same ribbon, flip it around so you have a nice loop, and then place that other end into that dot of glue, and again, let it sit for a few minutes. Now that that's attached, we're going to glue the ornaments together. If you're using B7000, go around your ornament, add the glue in, take the other half of the ornament, and again, make sure it's facing the correct way and place it down on top and press it down to hold. Again, if you're using B7000, I would hold this here for a couple minutes at least, before then carefully removing it, putting it down on a smooth surface, and then taking a little bit of wax paper or foil, putting it on top, and then putting a book on top of that to really hold it down for a few hours to make sure it adheres. Now, if you're gonna use hot glue, put down the glue on one side of the ornament, very carefully pick up the other one by the edges and try to place it down and align it as smoothly and evenly as possible. Then pick up your towel or oven mitt, put it on top, and then press down so that it glues together and you don't burn yourself. Again, if you're using the B7000, you're gonna wait a few hours. Use the hot glue. I'd still hold it down for a few minutes, but once that curing time is done, you have an ornament. Repeat this entire process over and over again to make as many ornaments as you like, and then you're ready to hang them up. So with all that being said, it's time for the reveal. Here they are. I'm so happy with how these turned out. Again, like I said, the hand embossing gets a little tiring and it can be a little time consuming going back and forth and back and forth. So just like I suggested to you earlier, I'm pacing myself a little bit. I'm making maybe a couple of ornaments here and there every day just to add more onto my tree. But for now, I wanted to show you what I have. My favorite are the two different moon shapes that I made. So you have a crescent moon and more of a full moon. And I love their little faces and expressions. I'm definitely gonna make more of those two shapes over and over to put on the tree. But I really love how customizable this project is, and you can do it with any shape you want. You could do rainbows, you could do hearts. I know in the future I'm gonna actually end up making some more spooky ones, like some bats, maybe sort of a memento mori one with a skull with wings on it. Really, you could do anything that you wanna do with this. I think this is a really fun and easy project, and I would love to hear what kind of ornaments you would make at home. So let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!